With technology surging onwards and upwards, how secure is your company, its data, and the people within your business, your ISP or hosting service providers? Today you'll hear my take on cybersecurity, and rightfully so, its trending focus throughout various social media platforms. Something is coming. With AI and the benefits of AI, one must understand the focus on AI presented on socials not so long ago by Elon Musk regarding the nature of world leaders using it for weaponry or opening the doors wider for cyber attacks and allowing criminals access to your data and hold this data for ransom. Good day and welcome to Cybersecurity Consultants, a division of Archie Dentalis Group. With technology surging onwards and upwards, how secure is your company, its data, and the people within your business, your ISP or hosting service providers? Today you'll hear my take on cybersecurity, and rightfully so, its trending focus throughout various social media platforms. I'm calling this the introduction. Being a transparent company or personal brand, from which social media usually encourages you to do, can cause catastrophic consequences in today's competitive business and personal brands online, especially in business. Let's look at the basics of cybersecurity. Here, I'm sharing my thoughts to generally get the reaction as I go into the psychology of how cyber criminals think. When talking to businesses and people about what I do, their reactions generally allow me a glimpse of what the business or the person currently are dealing with. And when mentioning how safe are your staff from causing a cyber attack, the answer is, I trust my staff. As honorable as this may be, the statistics throughout the world prove that cyber attacks are caused by internal data or information leaks and not entirely a direct software or ransomware attack. Allow me to explain. Cyber criminals are running rampant. How I say this is just recently I searched for a vehicle and it has shown a person like me in the field of cybersecurity how many social media platforms are in fact a cybersecurity risk. As a business owner, personal brand, you want to be as transparent as possible. However, your personal and your business information are on social media publicly, and that is what these scammers are looking for. They also use the panic buy approach, known as baiting, by saying someone is about to pay for the item you require and that you should pay before they do to ensure you get the item you want. These types of social engineering attacks are the most common. Phishing. This attack is done by means of email. An attacker may send a malicious email which, if clicked by the victim, may result in falling prey to the attack. There are multiple phishing attacks such as whaling. This is dedicated to top management such as CEO or CISO, etc. Spear phishing. These targets are a specific group of individuals by a known or trusted sender. Shoulder surfing. An attacker may snoop over your shoulder to see any sensitive information that you are typing into or reading from. Baiting. Baiting is in many ways like phishing attacks. However, what distinguishes them from other types of social engineering is the promise of an item or good that malicious actors use to entice victims. Baiters may leverage the offer of free music or movie downloads, for example, to trick users into handing over their login credentials. Tailgating. This attack allows an attacker to follow its victims into an unauthorized area by driving by the boom right behind him or her, or walking into a restricted area. War driving. This makes use of software where an attacker will drive around different areas trying to find vulnerable Wi-Fi networks. War chalking. This ties in with war driving, as the attackers will mark symbols on buildings indicating that this target has a vulnerable network. Malware. Victims are tricked into believing that malware is installed onto their computer or laptop, in which attackers ask the victim to pay and remove the malware. Pretexting or impersonation, which is a massive drive that's going throughout mainly Facebook, is where this attack implies the meaning of the name of the attack. The attacker will try and impersonate himself or herself to sensitive or confidential information from the victim. As a human race, we are set with the principles, morals and values that define us through worldly laws. But with AI and its capabilities, its principles are based on real-life laws and demonstration. And it can also learn and share what it has learned throughout all surfaces, drones, platforms, and dashboards, the speed of which is unfathomable in comparison to us humans that are known for human error, whereas AI do not falter at all. AI operates in real-world situations, and so do the cyber criminals, meaning that the way a crime is set up requires the same reconnaissance work as a real-world crime. Social media impersonation, especially on Facebook, but not limited to Facebook, are a massive concern even for cybersecurity specialists. And before buying anything on social media, one should require a copy of identification, from which some platforms as a standard have implemented. However, I believe, or we believe, that this should be implemented from the get-go as soon as you open a platform or a social media application. However, going further and to avoid being shown fake identification, one would require a proof of life shot. This is an actual subject or a person holding the identification next to their face. In this instance, you now have their face and identification. If the identification is forged or fake, you would still be able to see the person's face. So one would ask, how on earth are we to ensure we are safe or secure online? The answer is simple: preventative education, training, and digital penetration testing on all surfaces. The history of business, in essence, stems from centuries ago. The corporate world now is a whole beast on its own, where each are for their own, and we are taught to be robots without emotions. And as mentioned, it is to limit the amount of business data a person would genuinely speak with colleagues in their personal capacity and gossip through friends or at a braai or whatsoever. In today's world, this for some reason isn't applied with the younger generation, and making TikToks from inside a workspace never did any justice for anybody and has led to so many cyber attacks throughout the world. In essence, things that are private should stay private. If you don't usually tell people of situations in your life, why on earth would you take it publicly or to the world? Going a little too far isn't enough with what we do at Cybersecurity Consultants. Why, you may ask? It is all in the effort of seeing people's capabilities, strengths and weaknesses, and it is not to make one paranoid. This is mainly to create the awareness for all who use social media or have any data or hosting systems or information on a cloud-based setup, knowing that at the end of every data storage facility are humans with access. When approaching a business that believes its data is secure, this may be so. However, how secure are your human assets, helping you run your business successfully? A huge portion of cyber attacks are caused by the very human nature of conversation and reconnaissance, and this in cybersecurity is called social engineering. The dark side of cyberspace is where my attention to detail lies. It is full of scams, crime syndicates and avaricious persons taking what they can for self-gain, but at the detriment of the person falling for the prey or falling for the bait. Each one of us at some stage in our lives have experienced something being taken from us. Again, it is in our nature. However, it is wrong. And I took on a role to educate people and businesses to help others protect themselves from this dark side of the internet. Now that I have run through the basics of social engineering, I would like to ask you, how did we do? Did I teach you something today? Or what was said here, was it just something that rehashed your knowledge? If you're like most South Africans, then you probably say things like, well, this is the stuff I've already heard, and I have complete confidence in the people I have working for me and handling my data. If this is your idea of this video, then ignore and go on as normal. However, if you'd like to know more, then let me know and we can set up a meeting, because what I have touched on here is just the tip of the iceberg. For more information, contact me on 060-395-8751 or email me on info@cybersecurityconsultants.co.za.